4-3 against Cleveland and Detroit. What say you, my man?
It's a good way to put it. Satisfied, right? It doesn't scream excited or pleased, just satisfied. To me, the homestand was one win shy of being truly successful, whether that's a win yesterday or one more win against Cleveland. But sure, a winning homestand to me must be the baseline for a ball club that believes itself worthy of a division title. And I believe, I'm not sure because I believe that the brand of baseball that we saw on this 7-game homestand is better than any 7-game stretch we saw throughout the month of April. Now, there are still mistakes, right? We still saw base running mistakes and defensive miscues and hiccups out of the bullpen. So it certainly wasn't the type of flawless, well-rounded baseball we hope to see soon, and certainly in the second half as they make a push for the American League Central title. But for as scarred as we all were in the month of April, you feel pretty silly complaining about a winning homestand. So I think satisfied is a great way to put it, Dusty.
When I look at this team, and I always go back and listen to you because you say this team goes when Bobby, Vinny, and Sal go. But more importantly, I think it's when Bobby goes. Last 5 games, Vern, I felt attacked, but in a great way by you the other day when you're like, sometimes when you nerd out on Baseball Reference, well, that was been me for like this whole morning. And there's a lot of insane stuff when it comes to Bobby Witt Jr., and we know we do this with Patrick Mahomes, but Bobby Witt Jr. in his last 5 games, he's got a .421 average, 8 of 19, 4 runs, 2 home runs, 3 RBI, 1 strikeout in 21 plate appearances. And to me, the craziest thing about Bobby Witt Jr. this year, which is maybe something that a lot of people take for granted, and then I'll let you just talk about Bobby and what this team's been on his back these last 2 weeks. 91 attempts at shortstop, 0 goose egg, 0 errors, as he leads all of baseball in fielding percentage as just the ultimate platinum glove at short.
And you dive into the numbers over at Fangraphs, and Fangraphs says he is the most valuable player in Major League Baseball so far this season, edging Atlanta's Matt Olson, Aaron Judge, Shea Langoliers, and your boy Andy Pages of the Dodgers. So Bobby right now, the best defender regardless of position, well on his way to a second straight Platinum Glove Award. Just needs his team to get to the top of the division because, to me, that's what has halted him from winning the MVP a few seasons ago. That's what stopped Matt Quatrero from winning Manager of the Year the past few seasons. They need to walk away with this division title, and then the award should start flooding into Kauffman Stadium because Bobby is the best baseball player on the planet, not named Shohei. And we certainly had a chance to see that on this recent homestand. Bobby now hitting well over 300 at Kauffman Stadium. Yesterday picks up his team-leading 13th multi-hit game of the season. And over the past month, he's batting a solid .312. No, he's the most talented person to ever put on a Royals uniform. He's a joy to watch. I certainly do not take it for granted that I get a front row seat of watching one of the best 5-tool talents to come through this game in quite a while. I mean, we were talking up in the press box yesterday about the greatest baseball players of all time, and we all agreed it's Shohei, but, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron, and, man, A-Rod would have been in that conversation had it not been for the steroids. And I'd chime in and say, hey, Bob's probably about 10 years away from being in that conversation. It's a long way away. You'll be in a new stadium by then. But the fact, much like a Patrick Mahomes, that you can straight-face say into a microphone that the greatest player at their sports, in 2 different sports, both play in Kansas City. Now, it was a lot of fun to watch Bobby and to think he's likely only going to continue to do what we saw on this homestand and put up even more impressive numbers. No, he's been really good. You're seeing Mike Hell as well.
Yeah.
Mike Hell now top 25 in Major League Baseball according to Fangraphs WAR. So the 2 5-tool talents that have been taken care of by this organization are starting to deliver. We came into this season saying Bob needs to be one of the 5 best. Mike Hell needs to be one of the 25 best. They certainly are. Now we sit and wait for Vinny and Salvi to pick it up.
So, Vern, let's look at how we get the team success to get Bobby that MVP award. What are they still lacking, in your opinion, right now? What could they still go out there and think, like, if they have one move to make, what would that be to make this team better so Bobby can be in those categories?
Well, a caller brought this up this weekend to bring Aroldis Chapman home. Go into Boston, make a move, bring in the closer to replace Carlos Estevez, because who knows what you're going to get from him even when he returns. I think that could be a nice add and shouldn't be a difficult sell. Aroldis Chapman, Salvador Perez, best friends, right? That's the only reason why Aroldis originally signed back in 2023. I think that would be a great addition. And, offensively, we'll see where this team's at the beginning of August. Do they need a second baseman? Has Michael Massey emerged as an everyday second baseman? If not, like we talked about last week, maybe you knock on the door of the Baltimore Orioles, see if they're interested in moving one of their second baseman. You would like to think that a starting pitcher won't be necessary, especially if I'm expecting Cole to return and to be quite good. Stephen Kolik's been solid, so I would look at the bullpen, maybe second base. But, the question mark around Salvi, who turns 36 yesterday, what are we going to get out of the captain this season? Can he really grind all the way to the All-Star break with this hip, groin area injury? Can you really continue to put Carter Jensen out there 6 days a week behind the plate and ask him to hit fifth while he's working with veteran starters like Lugo and Waka? Man, this was not the plan, the way that they're handling Carter right now this season. And until Salvi goes on the IL, if it is needed, until that happens, you're just going to keep running Carter out there behind the dish. Hopefully Salvi's able to get behind the plate in Chicago, but until that happens, I don't know how you see this offense take off, because I don't know how you see Salvi take off while he's, while his midsection's barking every time he takes a squat.
You look at the catching position with Carter Jensen. Is it just nerves? Is it just inexperience when it comes to some mishaps? Because I remember that game on, what was that, Thursday, the day game, where Lugo was kind of like, I trust him with like the ABS.
Ran him over.
A little bit, yeah, maybe not a little bit, but yeah. I was listening to your postgame, and I'm like, Vern, I heard the same thing. Is that just kind of like the growing pains of him?
Certainly. And again, this was not the plan, to have him catch 7 times in 8 days, right? And hit fifth, right? Carter Jensen's in the big leagues because of his bat.
Right.
So you're going to keep putting him in that 5 spot because the bat warrants being in the 5 spot. But, you guys had Ned on earlier. I learned this from Ned. When you're breaking in a young catcher, most of those young catchers, even the great young catchers, you start off in the 8 or 9 spot in the lineup, and the message from the coaching staff is focus on your defense, focus on receiving, focus on your pitcher. This is your job. All I want you thinking about is defense and getting this pitching staff through these 9 innings. Whatever we get from you offensively is a bonus. That was the message to Salvi out of the gate when he was getting started back in the day. Carter Jensen doesn't get that luxury. Also, Jensen doesn't get the luxury of working with, the Danny Duffys and the young pitchers as they grow as well. He's working with Seth Lugo and Michael Waka, veterans that have very high standards for themselves and very high standards for their battery mates. So Jensen, to me, this is all just a reflection of inexperience and everything that a catcher needs to juggle. You show up to the ballpark, and I would imagine, your mind's racing. All right, where do we start? How do I balance my day? How do I plan out my day? I think Carter's still learning that. I think he'll be better in August and September because of what he's going through right now. But this is a pretty tough spot that the organization's putting him in, running him out there saying, we need your bat desperately, so much so that we're going to continue to put you in the 5 spot, and you need to run this pitching staff and control the run game and game plan and know the opposing hitters' weak spots. That's a lot to ask for a kid that's been in the big leagues for 2.5 months total.
Isn't that good, though?
Certainly in the long run.
Yeah,
yes.
long run.
Just
I'm
tough to
thinking
watch
about
right now when
Sure.
he's making base running mistakes and pass balls left and right.
But I mean, I think like giving him, like, it's weird, Vern, because you want to give him the opportunity to play and make these mistakes, but also you need the team to win, right? Like it's how do you develop a guy and give him the opportunities to go out there and make all the mistakes in the world and not have a problem with it, but also win as well? How do you balance those two?
You need Salvy healthy, so Salvy can be behind the plate. Salvy is clearly the best defensive catcher on this team, and one of the most clutch bats on this team. But it just hasn't been there since Salvy had that 2-double game in Seattle when he kind of re-aggravated it's been bothering him for quite a while, going back to his mental break that he didn't need. That midsection's been bothering him for quite a while, but he hits a double in Seattle and felt it as he was legging it out. And then the next day he makes that headfirst slide into home, which didn't make anything feel better. And since then, he's 3 for his last 28, all singles. And we've only seen him catch once here in the month of May. Tomorrow will be the 12th of May. So you have Elias Diaz, you have some veteran catchers down in the minor leagues that could bring a better defensive presence behind the plate. But if you have a Luke Maile or a Jorge Alfaro behind the dish, that means either Salvy or Carter Jensen's bat is on the bench. So long as Salvy's a DH only, again, it really puts the team in a tough spot.
Vern, I just kind of looked at the series against the White Sox. Reagan's Tuesday night, Lugo Wednesday, and Bubic Thursday. Is that
we got Kolick. Kolick tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, Reagan's is on the IL.
Okay, I was going to say, because I thought that's what I heard, because I saw it just was on the Score mobile app, and I was like, I don't think Reagan's is back already, let alone I know that he was on the IL.
Score?
I've seen that too. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
I think that's like Penn. Isn't that Barstool?
I don't know, but
I think it's Canada,
No, it's
actually.
not Barstool. It's not.
I think it's Canadian, Vern.
Canada.
I think it is Canada. Yeah.
Dusty USA, baby. What are you doing?
That's fair.
250th, and you're watching Score?
It was the first app I ever downloaded, and it's been true ever since till today.
Come on, ESPN, baby.
I want to ask you what you've seen with Cags, because I've now seen 2 baseballs absolutely jelly leg, 2 outfielders with just 111 to 112, and it's like the top spin. Obviously,
just a ground ball to the wall.
I mean,
wild.
The lift will get there, but I mean, the thing that I never thought I'd say with Cags is the fact that he's legging out doubles that are getting to the wall in 1 second.
Yeah, you have to imagine he's feeling pretty good. Man, I hate bringing up the manager because, I normally dismiss people, pointing at Q and blaming him when they lose. So, when things are going well, I'm not trying to sit around and praise him. It's about Cags. It's about the players. They're the ones going out there and executing. But, I bring up, or I've brought up Mike Matheny quite a bit over the past, or over the course of this homestand because, but I hear from certain fans that, I never want to see Starling Marte. I never want to see this guy. Just leave him on the bench. That's Mike Matheny. Now, personally, I think I would have preferred playing for a guy like Mike Matheny. I think that those are the kind of guys that can push my buttons. But, Ryan O'Hearn and Brent Rooker, I don't know if they ever felt as if Matheny believed in them.
Right.
Because they wouldn't see their name in the lineup. He would say all the right things to the media, but then when push came to shove, he wasn't turning to him. He'd put him in a pinch hit situation late in the game in a no-win situation, and that doesn't really that doesn't reflect faith from your manager. My point is, what or which of the 13 position players or the 13 pitchers on this team, which one of them do you think wonders, hey, does Q believe in me? Does this organization believe in me? I don't think there's one of them. The way that Matt Quatrero has used his team, used his roster, made sure that everyone stays involved and stays fresh, I do think that has a small is a small explanation as to why you've seen this team stay in the fight and now, sits within arm's reach of first place. It's because a guy like Jack Caglione has never wavered in wondering whether or not my manager believes in me. Same with Carter Jensen as they keep running him out there. But you look top to bottom on this team, Michael Massey, Nick Lofton, Lane Thomas, Kyle Isbell. Which one of these guys do you think, even if they are struggling offensively or not hitting the way that they want against righties or lefties, do you think any one of them are wondering, man, do I have a future in Kansas City? Am I going to be used in the big spot as we make a push to the postseason? So, my long-winded answer on Jack Caglione is he's quite confident. He's overflowing with self-belief, and I think sky's the limit. I think everything you had hoped that Jack Caglione could do in 2026 is still very possible. And the job that Matt Quatrero has done to keep these guys all tugging on the same end of the rope is impressive and shows the small areas in which a manager can make a difference. I think he's done a nice job.
Vern, I know it's going to be fun. You get to watch Bobby Wood Jr. and Murakami go at it this week. Should be interesting to see what that kid does. I guess not kid, that grown-ass man in Chicago. I'm kind of worried about him. But
he's damn good, man.
I appreciate the time, Vern, and I will think of you when I'm on the beach this week.
Oh, man. Good for you.
Yeah,
I love you, Dusty. Does your dad still hate me, though?
He's never hated you.
Why does he hate you?
He's always thought
me.
this because you think he's the direct replica of the text line, which he is.
He is.
Yeah.
He hates me.
Yeah, we get if this guy
Mr.
doesn't.
Likens, I love you just like I
Yeah.
love your son. So
No, yeah,
give me a break,
Kurt's
man.
a big fan of Vern. Mary's a bigger fan of Vern, by the way. She always says, these guys need to win because Vern's going to bust a gasket.